Hey, what's up you guys, it's Ruthie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to go into chapter 18 of How to Disappear by Sharon Huss Wrote. I think I just gave myself a paper cut, but we'll be a-okay as long as I don't bleed all over the book. Anyways, I hope that you guys are enjoying this book so far, and let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, please click off of the video now. You have been warned. At school on Monday, I make sure Raj doesn't spot me, but observe him from afar. He doesn't seem to have an extra spring in his step today, and I wouldn't call it a smile. But the shape of his mouth is definitely one on the brighter side of neutral. I go to my locker even though Hallie's there. She says, "Hey," and smiles. I smile back, "Hi." We get our things from our respective lockers and put our coats and lunches away, and all the while my heart is pounding. I'm sweating, but still I did it. I said hi to Hallie Bryce twice now, and I did not die. I get to world history early so I can leave a note on Lipton's desk. I tear off a tiny strip of paper about 2 inches wide and the height of a single line of college-ruled notebook paper. I scrawl my message, "I'm sorry," and I leave it on his desk, but when he gets there to class, he drops his books right on top of it. Adam scowls at me like he always does, but Lipton continues to pretend I don't exist. He hasn't looked at me since that awful day. After class, the note is no longer on his desk. I imagine it's stuck to his notebook or to his arm, and the ink will leave a mark to his notebook or his arm, well, like a tattoo, only in reverse. He'll spend the rest of the day wondering how he got "I'm sorry" written on his skin backwards and what it means. Or he'll see it in the mirror when he's brushing his teeth before bed tonight. On Tuesday, I try again, only this time I've carved "I'm sorry" into the side of a pencil using one of my mother's kitchen knives. I get to class and leave the pencil on his desk. He arrives, picks it up, and glances around, even I'm pretty sure at me. He lays the book on his desk and gently places the pencil in a little vertical ridge along the binding. He doesn't hold the pencil sideways to read it. Mr. Braxley walks to the front of the room and tapes a paper to the wall. "This is the sign-up sheet for your presentations," he says. "We'll do 2 per week until we get through them all, and since the due date was always Monday, this shouldn't put anyone at a disadvantage, because you should all be ready to give your presentation on Monday, right?" A weak nod goes around the room. Nobody's anywhere near ready, obviously. "Still," says Mr. Braxley, "I'll give a bonus 10 points to the first group to make their presentation." People start getting out of their chairs to sign up, but Braxley shoos them all back to their seats. "I should mention," he says, grinning, "that the opportunity to sign this sheet must be earned by answering questions correctly." The class moans, all except for Lipton. He sits up straighter. If this were a quiz show and there was a glowing red button to be pushed when you knew the answer, his hand would be hovering over it, twitching. Meanwhile, I am paralyzed by the dueling fears of raising my hand to answer a question in class and being left with the dreaded first slot on the schedule. Giving a presentation at all is terrifying. Going first, just kill me now. Mr. Braxley starts a review for our upcoming test. Every now and then he shoots out a question for first Christian emperor. Lipton is caught off guard and doesn't get his hand in the air fast enough, so Rene Prusso takes the first stab. "Constantine," she says. Mr. Braxley points to the schedule. She gives a squeal and briefly consults with her project team members, then skips up front and writes on the sheet. She takes the last slot, and everyone whines because they wanted to go last. I'm happy though. Going last is almost as bad as going first. It means waiting and watching everyone else and realizing how bad your presentation will be in comparison. I pull my attention back to Mr. Braxley, who was talking about a period of peace and prosperity that lasted 200 years. Around the first couple of centuries AD, anyone know what this period was called? Lipton's hand is in the air before anyone else's. Mr. Braxley gives him a nod. "Pax Roma," says Lipton, and all breathless, which means Roman peace. He breaks into a grin and bolts in the front of the room, ignoring Jeremy Everling's coughed utterance of "socks." Lipton pencils his project name into a slot somewhere in the middle. The torturous process continues. Sometimes I know the answers before anyone else, but I can't bring myself to raise my hand. By the end of the class, I'm the only one who hasn't signed up. Mr. Braxley eyes me and says, "If you aren't on the schedule," and points his pencil toward the paper. I gather my things and make my way to the front of the room, and everyone files out. The emptiness of the first slot on the sign-up sheet taunts me. Monday, first presentation for a project I haven't even started. My hand trembles and I raise my pencil to start to scrawl my project title onto the paper, but before I can spell out the word siege, another hand is holding its own pencil, reaches over my arm. It's a pencil I etched I'm sorry into. It erases Battle of Thermopylae from the third to the last slot and writes Siege of Jerusalem in its place. I step back stunned as Lipton puts his own project in the first slot. Adam hovers in the doorway, shaking his head. We were standing so close, Lipton and I, closer than I've been to another human being in a long time. Lipton has the faintest beginnings of facial hair on his upper lip, but it's blonde, and there's a dimple in his right cheek that is tweaked upward in a close-lipped sideways smile. A side smirk, I mouth the words thank you because that's all I can manage to close proximity to that dimple. He shrugs, tucks the I'm sorry pencil behind his ear, and walks out. That is the end of chapter 18. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.